Great to see you. Great to see you back. This is perhaps a bit of a surprise to some people. We wondered if you might make it before the end of the season. Must be great news for you.
Yeah, like I just mentioned, it's always been sort of my aim to try and get back as quick as possible and get some minutes under my belt before the playoffs. So when we made the video earlier about the injury, we sort of knew there was a potential for me to be back, sort of featuring maybe this weekend or next weekend. So I'm just happy to be back in training and be back involved for Saturday.
How difficult is that when you know you've sort of got a bit of a deadline? It's not like the middle of a season where if you miss another game, well, you can wait another week. Here you've got the end of the season and a playoff campaign that you must be desperate to be involved in.
Yeah, it's just one of them things of just making sure I'm doing the right things every day and having that sort of target. I'm glad that it wasn't a sort of an injury that I wasn't going to be back involved in the playoffs, because I think they're the worst ones, because you feel like you have a lot of time and you can kind of just dawdle your way through the rehab and just think about next season. Whereas I've had a deadline to hit of being back and ready for the playoffs, and I'm a couple of weeks early just to get them minutes and them training minutes under my belt, so I feel match fit and ready to go.
How important is that you get some football before the playoffs? Because to suddenly come back from a lengthy layoff and go straight into the intensity of playoff matches would be really tough, wouldn't it?
I think it's probably one of them where the adrenaline will get you through it. Do you know what I mean? You'd probably be so excited and so up for the game, you'd manage to drag yourself through it. But yeah, getting some minutes and a little bit of match sharpness is always going to be beneficial for the big games coming up.
We've seen you training on the pitch a bit with the players and then heading off. I'm sure it's been nice to be involved again, but it must be really hard to do that and then have to leave the pitch and let them play, and you have to sit up in the stand and watch.
Yeah, I've been trying to travel with the boys as much as I can when I've been injured, just to try and stay involved and making sure I can give a little bit of help when needed and things like that. So to be honest, I think it's worse sitting at home and watching than it is being there and involved and watching it from the stand. So I've enjoyed watching the lads. They've had some good performances along the way, which has put us where we're at. We're in a good position now to hopefully kick on the next two games and be in a strong position for the playoffs.
It's interesting you say there about keeping involved during that time. I mean, as captain as well, I guess you want to be in there and involved and playing a part as much as you can.
Yeah, definitely. I think with being captain, I feel I have sort of a responsibility to try and be professional and travel with the boys and stay involved and help out where I can. Do you know what I mean? It's like I say, it's better for me to do that. At least I know I'm getting a proper session in with the physios on a Saturday morning, rather than being at home and just doing a treadmill session or a bike session where it's kind of it was a little bit hard to control. Obviously at the start with the hammy, you've got to be careful in what you're doing, so with them able to monitor my load and stuff as I'm doing it, it's a little bit easier.
I mean, these last two games of the regular season, still important as you're sort of jostling for position. How important is it that you keep hold of your spot and get that home quarter final?
Of course, it's massive. Home ties is important, especially if we can pack this place out. It's going to be really good day for the fans and for everyone at the club if we can secure that home quarter final. I mean, the way it's looking at the moment, it could be Dagenham or Grimsby or Chesterfield, and you wouldn't probably want to go away to them places and try to get a result in a playoff game. So being at home is very important, and keeping that fifth position definitely what we need to do.
And the two teams you've still got to play, different sort of prospects, I think, to Dover. I mean, Altrincham have been getting quite a few results of late, largely at home admittedly, but they're not quite they're going to be the same sort of proposition as Dover were, where they just come and chuck everybody behind the ball.
No, definitely not. We got beat off them away from home earlier in the season, and I think we beat them 2-1 here in the trophy. We know what about. They've got a good front four, a lot of good movement and good individual players, so they can kind of make things happen at any given moment, and especially on a good pitch and in a good atmosphere here, they'll probably be right up for it. So it's a game that we've got to make sure we're in the right mindset for, and make sure we're getting the 3 points.
How are you feeling about the prospect of a playoff campaign? I mean, as we've got towards the end of the season, Ian Birchnell's been able to rest a few players and mix the team up a little bit. Maybe that by the time the regular season ends, you'll be fresh to go for it.
Yeah, very looking forward to it. I enjoyed last season's playoffs, and it was the first time I'd been involved in anything like that, so it was good to sort of extend the season and just keep playing games. Really, that's what we want to do. We want to keep playing. We've got that promotion as a goal, which is what we want to achieve this season. So, being amongst the playoffs in a good position, have a home tie in the quarters puts us in a good position to hopefully do that.
Yeah, and so much at stake. So much at stake in these games, you know. And obviously, I know you know that, and you had it talking last year. But there's such a big reward potentially just a few weeks away.
No, of course. I think some lads don't probably realise how big of an occasion it can be and how good of a day out it is at the final. So it's something that we want to get to. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the lads, or a few of the lads, have had that Wembley final against behind closed doors 3 years ago. So a few of them know what it's like, and they probably don't want to feel that same feeling that they felt and that I felt last year. We want to go on and we want to win, and do you know what I mean? We've got a great group of lads here, and there's not a better group of lads that we could want to do it with, really.